Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. You may remove your jackets. Straight on to the agenda then. Are there any apologies for absence?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we've had apologies from Councillor Paul Brown, Councillor Gareth Jones and Councillor Richard Thomas.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest, please? No. Into the open session then, and we have a report from Mr. Colin Davis, Auditor General's Annual Improvement Report 2015-16.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for inviting me to your meeting to present our Annual Improvement Report for 2015-16. I think it's page 5 in your papers. And I'll just, before going past the opening page, I'll just draw your attention to the issue date there, which was August of this year. So some time has passed since we issued this sort of end-of-year report. And also, I was speaking to your Chief Executive earlier. Not only did we issue this report in August 2016, the work that it summarises we reported earlier in the year, over May and June, and the actual work that we did for those reports was done in the first quarter of the year. So I just wanted to explain that context to you, that I'm sure, as Gareth will inform you later, that a number of things has moved on since we carried out our work. But if I can take you to page 7, the contents summary. Our overall conclusion is set out there, and that is that the Council is strengthening its management arrangements and making progress in its priority areas, but there is scope to further embed financial and performance management arrangements. Just in case you hadn't picked up on that, that's quite a positive statement from an auditor. We're not known for our flowery language and congratulatory text. But I think, this is the annual improvement report. It is the end-of-year judgment on the Council, not just from the Wales Audit Office, but this report also reflects the work of the other relevant regulators, including CSSIW, Estyn, and the Welsh Language Commissioner. And if we think back over the previous period, this is the first report, for instance, since Estyn decided that the Council was no longer in need of any special measures around its education service. Also that the local government minister had decided that he didn't need to provide any further support to the Council. And so I hope when you've read this report, you felt that come through. This is and should reflect a positive story about the progress that the Council has made over the last few years. On page 8, as I've just said, this report summarises the audit work that's undertaken since our last report in June 2015, and a summary of the key findings of reports issued by the relevant regulators, as I've said. Because it's a summary, you might find that it's a little sparse in terms of detail, and there are, for each of the pieces of work that are set out on page 9, there are underlying reports that provide more detail and lead to those overall judgments and evaluations. And if you haven't seen those in the course of your business, whether that's in audit committee or scrutiny committee, I'm sure if you're interested and want further detail, I'm sure that those can be provided to you for information if you'd like to ask. So as I say, on page 9, what is the work that we've done over this period? We've carried out a financial resilience assessment, and we didn't pick on Merthyr Tydfil Council because we thought it was an issue. That was a piece of work done across 22 councils. And again, if you're interested, the Auditor General has published a national report that drew together those findings and presented them in an all-Wales context, and that's available on the Wales Audit Office website. We carried out a specific review of the human resources function. We looked at the Council's service improvement framework because at the time that we did our corporate assessment, that was a developing story. And again, when we did our review, we found that quite naturally, you tried and tested some of your arrangements and decided to change course. I think strategy on a page comes to mind as the new improvement framework approach. And our findings were that whilst that showed promise, it needed more time for that to embed before we could properly evaluate the benefit that that new framework is bringing to you in being able to understand and tell a story about the Council's performance. So I'm sure that's something that we will revisit over time. We looked at the Council's own assessment of waste services and leisure services, and we carried out our normal functions to see that the Council complied with its responsibilities under legislation. I mentioned Eston and CSSIW. The report includes the findings following monitoring visits, desktop analysis of performance data, and the annual review of Social Services Department's performance by CSSIW. And then on page 10, you'll see that our overall conclusion is that the Auditor General believes that the Council is likely to comply with the requirements of the measure during 2016-17. Heavily caveated statement again, by the believes and likely, just in case we get it wrong. But I mean, that is the most positive evaluation that any council in Wales will get in terms of compliance with the local government measure. And it's probably worth mentioning that, of course, the local government measure, there are elements of it that are still applying at the moment in terms of publishing plans, but basically that piece of legislation has been largely overtaken by the Wellbeing and Future Generations Act, etc., which the Council will be getting to grips with in terms of setting new objectives going forward, and the joy of producing a plan in a different format to meet the requirements of a separate piece of legislation. And in paragraph 8 below, we just bring together the key findings that led the Auditor General to reach that positive conclusion. But in case you get too complacent, in paragraph 9, we remind you that the challenges that all councils and this council continue to face are unlikely to go away, and that it will be important for the Council to further strengthen and embed its financial governance and performance management arrangements. And whilst I note that in the covering report, officers have highlighted the proposal for improvement that's contained in here, those separate reports that we've issued contained a further 11 proposals for improvement, and we'll be looking in the course of the coming year to the progress that the Council is making in relation to those, which are designed to help you in meeting some of those challenges. And once again, just to reinforce that there's a range of actions the Auditor General can take, including formal recommendations and special inspections and such like. Those are set out on paragraph 10, but no such action is deemed appropriate for the Council. It's the lowest level, if you like, which is certainly, you know, we would expect in the course of work to find, if we're carrying out a thorough review, to identify areas that can be improved. That's exactly what we found, and we've made those proposals for improvement to the Council, and officers have accepted those, and I'm sure have developed an action plan and will be tracking progress going forward. Madam Mayor, that's really all I wanted to cover in terms of the report. I'd be very happy if Gareth would like to inform members on how this is being taken forward. But if there are any questions that members have in relation to the detail, please ask and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Clearly, I'd like to thank Colin for his kind words of support. You know, he caveated it as normal in regards to moving this agenda forward. However, Council will know that, you know, progress is being made primarily in all areas here. You know, every report we're getting, we're taking extremely seriously, and we're moving the agenda forward. And the report is like an MOT certificate, isn't it? It's at a point in time. And I think certainly in regards to some of the issues that were raised in regards to our education service, yes, our education service has improved. The attainment of our young people have improved for the 4th year on the trot. So, you know, we're continuing to focus on education as a key priority for the authority, and we'll continue to do so. In regards to waste, we're the most improved authority in Wales. Last year, we met our target and exceeded our target by 4%, and we moved up the table from 21st in Wales to 9th, so on 62% there. In regards to our financial management, we just closed the accounts, which I'm sure Colin's well aware of. We were in a surplus situation for last year, and the current indications is that this year at month 3 we were still in a surplus situation, and again the report's due to come to Cabinet in due course in regards to our financial position this year. In regards to, again, performance management, self-evaluation, again, that's being strengthened as we move on. And I think the point you made that's made in the report in regards to the proposal for improvement in regards to dealing with recommendations from external organisations, again, that's being strengthened, and Mark's outlined that scrutiny certainly in Cabinet will review those issues as we move forward. And in fact, in challenge sessions that we're having now with individual departments and teams of staff, actions on any recommendations which affect that service area are being packed up within that challenge session. So we're trying to address those issues. As Colin said, there is still a lot to be done. There are still challenges ahead. But certainly it's my view, and I think the senior management team of the authority, is that we're in a good place to continue to push forward despite the austerity agenda. And again, that's through certainly constructive support and challenge from you as elected members as well. And we continue to improve, Colin.
Councillor Williams? It's Brendan, is there?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, if there are no questions, can I first of all say, Colin, it's great to see you at Merthyr again. You're always very welcome here, you know that, and I'd like to thank you for your presentation this evening and the work that you and your team have done, and that, in fact, of the other regulators and inspectors that have been mentioned in the report. Quite clearly, we accept the findings in the report and feel that the comments that have been made are fair. They give us a very useful insight into our organisation, and also further assists us in confirming some of the things that we need to keep sight of. I think it's also fair to say, and Colin in fact has touched upon it this evening, that there has been some significant improvements within the Council over recent years. And as set out in the report, we continue to strengthen our management arrangements, make progress in delivering our priorities. But as Gareth has pointed out, we still have work to do to improve other areas identified in the report, such as budget monitoring, workforce planning, formalising arrangements for responding to regulatory reports, and indeed specific aspects of social services in order to address the future challenges that we face. We continue to strengthen and embed our financial governance and performance management arrangements to respond effectively to the financial pressures we face, the legislative changes and the increase in demand for some of our services. As Gareth has pointed out, these issues are being addressed and they will continue to be addressed, and there's some very good ongoing work there. So, Colin, again, thank you very much for the presentation this evening. It's great to see you, and we hope to see you and your colleagues again back at the Council in due course. So thanks very much indeed.
Who's going to move the recommendations?
I mean, before we move, can I say a word? Right, okay, right.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just got to get back to the original page. The recommendation on page 1 is that the Auditor General's Annual Improvement Report be received, and 2.2, an update on progress in addressing the proposal for improvement be provided to Audit Committee. In moving the motion, I would also add to the leaders' thanks to Colin for years of service, and I think you're in semi-retirement now, so... All right, then. In that case, I will shut up now then. No, wish you all the very best, Colin. Wish you all the very best, and thank you. As I say, over the years, we've had some good, robust discussions in all fairness. And so I move the motion, Madam Mayor, rather.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'm happy to second the recommendations as set out in paragraph 2 of the report.
Questions then? Alan?
Gareth, you're smiling at me now. No, I've been a little bit finicky, but in your short few words, you mentioned that we're in a good position to push on. And I wonder whether that's the right word. I think we're in a position to push on that we've got to be in. And I think we've got to remember the casualties that have been, had to be over the years, and how other people's lives are affected. So yes, it is good to be in the position we are, but let's not forget, to get there, there have been people who've had to suffer.
Any further comments? Can I put it to the vote then, please?
Councillor Alan Jones, please. If you press it again, thank you. That's carried.
That's carried, thank you. If you want to stay, or if you want to go and have your tea. Yes, that's fine. Thank you very much. I'll move on then to item number 4, Wednesday the 7th of September 2016, minutes of Cabinet.
Move, Madam Mayor.
Second, Madam Mayor.
I'll take it to the vote then, please. That's carried, thank you. Item number 5, Wednesday the 7th of September 2016, full council.
Move, Madam Mayor.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Can I take it to the vote then, please? That's carried, thank you. Item number 6, Monday the 12th of September 2016, minutes of scrutiny, learning and layscape.
Move, Madam Mayor.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Take it to the vote then, please. That's carried, thank you. Item number 7, Wednesday the 14th of September 2016, minutes of licensing committee.
I move the minutes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Take it to the vote then, please. That's carried, thank you. Item number 8, Wednesday the 14th of September 2016, Planning, Regulatory and Licensing Committee.
I move the minutes, Madam Mayor.
Take it to the vote then, please. That's carried, thank you. Item number 9, Monday the 19th of September, minutes of Rights Away Committee.
I move the minutes, Madam Mayor.
Second the minutes, Madam Mayor.
Take it to the vote then, please. That's carried, thank you. Item number 10, Tuesday the 20th of September 2016, minutes of Scrutiny Social Services.
Move the minutes, Madam Mayor.
Move, Madam Mayor.
Second, Madam Mayor.
I'll take it to the vote then, please. That's carried, thank you. Item number 12, Thursday the 22nd of September 2016, minutes of Audit Committee.
Move the minutes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, I'll take it to the vote then, please.
Councillor Cameron, please. Thank you.
That's carried then, thank you. On to the committee reports now. Item number 13, petition received by the authority. I understand it's Deputy Leader to take that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Page 75 then, the purpose of the report is to advise Council of a petition received from the traders at Pont Morlais regarding the planned car park alterations at Pont Morlais. You can see in paragraph 3.2 that the petition has been forwarded to the Engineering Department for their attention, and the recommendation is on 2.1 that the petition received be noted. Subject to question and comments, I move.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Any questions, please? Comments? Can I take it to the vote then, please? That's carried, thank you. Item number 14, Wellbeing of Future Generations Wales Act 2015, scrutiny of the ComTAF Public Services Board. I believe it's the Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm assuming members will have read the report and therefore gleaned from it that this is proposing the setting up of a joint scrutiny committee, or JOSC, which is a joint overview scrutiny committee, in respect of the Public Service Board, which again is a joint Public Service Board set up between RCT and Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Councils. The report is self-explanatory. Interesting things in it, I presume members would be keen to hear about, is on page 81, 5.4, where the committee chair, whoever that may be, will be remunerated. That's an issue that will be discussed in more detail as time moves on. And the conclusion at 6.1 is obviously it is a new approach, and as things will settle down, clearly we'll get smarter at moving forward. In terms of reference are also attached to Appendix 1 for members to look at. Again, set in accordance with some prescribed stuff which is not really clear yet, so that will again develop over the years. The point of view from our side is that clearly we would like to ensure that the chair would come from our side initially, which would mean we would need to support the chair through our own scrutiny setup in the first year. All other costs will be shared between the two authorities, so there's again a shared cost. I know it's already gone to RCT's council, they've approved it. It went yesterday to our scrutiny committee, they approved it. The recommendation on page 78 was as approved by, or as recommended by the scrutiny committee yesterday. So rather than go into detail, I'll just move the recommendations 2.1 through to 2.5. I move.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Any questions, please? Comments? Can I take it to the vote then, please? That's carried, thank you. Item number 15, Annual Performance Report 2015-16. Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I'm assuming members will have read it. I don't intend to go through this report in any shape or form. The thing is, it's a backward-looking report anyway. Much of the stuff in it is very much 6 months at least out of date. So we need to be looking forward rather than backwards, I think, in that respect. It is a good report. I commend it to all members. Recommendation on page 95 is that we approve the annual performance report. I move.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Are there any questions, please? Any comments? Can I take it to the vote then, please?
Councillor Smart, please.
That's carried. Thank you very much. Item number 16 is an information report. So we move on to closed session. Could I have someone move a section 100, please?
Move section 100, Madam Mayor.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Rob. Oh, do I? Can I take it to the vote then, please?
Can we have everyone's vote, please, on section 100? Councillor Harvey-Jones, please. Thank you.
That's carried, thank you. Back to the reopened session then, to deal with any other urgent business or correspondence. I believe, Leader, you have something?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'll be as brief as I possibly can. Madam Mayor, members will be aware and recall that I made an address to full council on the 13th of July 2016 on our commitment to celebrating the diversity of our communities and working in partnership to support integration and continuing to promote tolerance among and within our communities across the county borough and throughout Wales. Friday the 21st of October is Wear Red Day, organised across the UK by Show Racism the Red Card. Show Racism the Red Card is an anti-racism education charity which was established in 1996 with the aim of educating against racism. The charity achieves this through delivering training to teachers, youth workers and other adults working in the education sector. Educational work quite clearly is crucial in challenging racist attitudes in society and breaking down barriers within communities. And it is critical that we advocate a culture of tolerance within our schools and communities. In order to show our continuing commitment, the Council and its schools will be supporting Show Racism the Red Card's Wear Red Day on Friday the 21st of October 2016 by wearing something red. For some of us it'll be very easy, others it might find it more difficult, and donating £1. The money raised from the event will enable the charity to continue to deliver their invaluable work by everyone uniting against racism for one day. Madam Mayor, I'm sure we're all acutely aware that October the 21st will, however, be the 50th anniversary of the Aberfan disaster. So being very mindful of this, we'll be asking staff and schools to be sensitive to this event when participating on the Wear Red Day. As part of our commitment to working in partnership across Cwm Taff in raising and increasing awareness of hate crime, a hate crime event is being held during Hate Crime Awareness Week, which takes place between the 8th and 15th of October this year. The event will be taking place on Thursday the 13th of October in Pontypridd, and I'd like to encourage as many people as possible in the room this evening and beyond to attend in order to demonstrate our continuing commitment that hate crime and racism will not be tolerated within our communities across the county borough and indeed across Wales. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Leader. Item number 19, any communications from Her Worship the Mayor? I have none. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and safe journey home.